Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Shireen Gabriel, and I'm honored to serve as Dean of Rutgers Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. Please be seated. I'm very happy to be participating in the 23rd Annual Whitecoat Ceremony, which I understand to be such a meaningful event at this school and at many other schools. I have to admit, though, to the first years, that this is my very first Whitecoat ceremony. And of course, I'm sure that's true for most of you. So that's the very first thing we have in common. As you already know, I recently arrived at Rutgers after nearly a 30-year career at Mayo Clinic, most recently as Dean of Mayo Medical School. So you might assume that I presided over many Whitecoat ceremonies. In fact, at Mayo, the tradition is business attire, so this really and truly is brand new for me. So, welcome again. While the Mayo brothers had a different philosophy about the white coat, they did this business attire thing, they believed, as we all do, that the way you dress reflects the respect that you show to others, especially to your patients and their families. So I would ask all of you to let the new white coat that you'll wear for the first time today represent the respect that you have for yourself, for others, and for the profession of medicine that we all hold so dear. I ask you to remember that each and every time you place it on your shoulders. Of course, today's wonderful ceremony is really not about the coat at all. It's about celebrating each of you, the persons who will be wearing the coat, and the symbolism the coat represents for our profession. So I want to take this opportunity to thank our Whitecoat Ceremony coordinators, Lauren Adams and Colleen Stalter, the Orientation Week coordinators, Melissa Chan, Melroy D'Souza, and Gabby Gobriel, the Student Handbook coordinators, Debbie Chen and Hamoun Ishrahi, the Housing Coordinator, Blaine Huss, the Peer Mentor Directors, Greg Brody and Alexa Malusi, as well as all the peer mentors and all of the students who have worked so hard to make Orientation Week a great success. I'm honored to welcome Frank Hundley, Chair of the Rutgers University Board of Trustees, and board members, Margaret Derrick, Dr. Roberta Kennerick, Laurel Van Leer, and Trustee Emerita Jean Fox. It is my pleasure to recognize and thank Rutgers Biomedical Health Sciences Chancellor, Brian Strom. We will hear from Dr. Strom in just a few moments. I am pleased to welcome Dr. Salvador Mofa, Vice President of Medical Affairs from Robert Wood Johnson, Somerset, and I'm delighted to welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Manuel Jimenez. I would also like to thank Michelle Reardon, co-president of the Association of Families and Friends, who's with us this afternoon, as well as the Arnold P. Gold Foundation for its ongoing support. Also in attendance today are many department chairs and faculty members here to welcome you, the class of 2019, to our medical school. I thank them all for their contributions to our success. And of course, I offer a very warm welcome to all of you in the audience, the spouses, family members, and friends of the class of 2019. You too are to be congratulated for the support and encouragement that was so important to bringing your student to this point in his or her education. Let's just take a moment and for some applause for all of those individuals here today. During the next 4 years, this class will become immersed in an academic community that will guide and support each of you in the process of becoming an expert and humanistic physician. For each of you, this week begins the journey to becoming a physician. My advice to you is to perform to the best of your ability and to always be open to new ideas and new experiences. You would not be here today unless you were exemplary students. We know that. And since the advent of the multiple mini interview, we also know that you possess excellent interpersonal skills and exhibit sound judgment. But now you're entering a profession that requires all of that and much more. You will be academically challenged like never before. But I ask you never to forget that you're entering a culture of service. Service and respect for your patients, for your community, for your colleagues, and for yourselves. The Association of American Medical Colleges, that's the sort of governing body for all of the medical schools in the United States, released a statement that my colleague, Dr. Loris Betts, read at last year's annual meeting. It resonated so deeply with me that I wanted to just share a part of that with you today. We, the AAMC, affirm our commitment to shaping a culture of teaching and learning that is rooted in respect for all, fostering resilience, excellence, compassion, and integrity. Allow us to create patient care, research, and learning environments that are built upon collaboration, mutual respect, and human dignity. That statement embodies the cultural shift that will permeate your training and your careers as physicians going forward. I hope you learn it well. I hope you participate and remember it each time you don your new white coat or the one you'll wear 5, 10, or even 50 years from today. You have so much to look forward to. The world eagerly awaits your accomplishments. So let's get started. I hope you're as excited as I am about what's to come. Thank you very much. It is now my distinct pleasure to invite Chancellor Brian Strom to the podium. Dr. Strom.
Thank you, Shireen. Good morning, class of 2019. Welcome. You've made two great choices, medicine and Rutgers. Medicine is a wonderful profession, and Rutgers will give you the skills to join its ranks filled with committed, devoted, and hardworking women and men who spend their lives caring for patients and advancing science. I'm particularly excited for this class. It's your good fortune to begin medical school with Dr. Shireen Gabriel as the dean. As you just heard, Dr. Gabriel has joined us from Mayo Medical School and the Mayo Clinic, where she served as dean since 2012. And we at Rutgers could not be happier to have her here. Her achievements as dean include the design, implementation, and dissemination of a new education model to prepare physicians to achieve better care, healthier communities, and more affordable health care. Her research interests include the epidemiology of rheumatic diseases. You will learn much from Dr. Gabriel throughout your 4 years of medical school. Please join me in giving her a warm welcome with a round of applause. As you begin medical school, I would like to mention a few of the implications for young medical students of the emerging healthcare landscape. Team healthcare is now the new delivery model. Physician, nurse, pharmacist, psychologist, nutritionist, social scientist, technician, patient, family, financial counselors, all working together in order to look out for the best of our patients. The role for physicians is changing. You no longer need to recite memorize knowledge, although you'll have plenty of that too while you're in medical school, but to solve difficult diagnostic dilemmas, perform procedures depending on your field within medicine, manage relationships within the team and with patients, and manage a team caring for a population of patients. You'll see new models of medical care that we're already seeing emerge: care anywhere, care networking and coordination, care customization. There is a new embracement of technology, ranging from big data as part of medical care, high-performance computing, analytics, and predictive models, even for individual patients. Increasing attention is being paid to communication skills, and with that, to listening to and communicating with patients. As you go forward, remember to continue to seek knowledge, Doesn't matter the areas, whether you're talking about knowledge about public policy, delivery of healthcare, research, whether basic or clinical research, public health, bioethics, patient safety. Your education in medicine is beginning today, but it will never end for the rest of your career. A career in medicine is as exciting as it has ever been. You're prepared, you grew up with technology, you're young and can adjust easily to the changing environment. You're beginning training in a superb new institution, one which creatively emphasizes the importance of education and training, as well as research and clinical care. There'll be so many career choices available to you in the future: private practice, specialty care, community health practice, rural community health, healthcare for the underserved, global health, practice in patient-centered medical homes, practice in accountable care organizations, research, academic medical practice, public policy, private industry, governmental agency, and many others that we can't even imagine today. Indeed, from a personal point of view, I have personally participated in most of those throughout the course of my career. So I'm pleased I could be here today to get to meet you. I wish you the best of luck in your school years and your future career, and wish you and your family congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dr. Strom. I would now like to introduce Dr. Carol Terragino, Senior Associate Dean of Education.
Dean Gabriel, Chancellor Strom, Dr. Jimenez, Associate and Assistant Deans, faculty colleagues, families and friends, Gold Humanism Medicine honorees, and entering class of 2015, it is such a privilege to welcome you today in my multiple roles as Admissions Dean, Senior Associate Dean for Education, and co-leader of the Patient-Centered Medicine, which is what this day is all about today. As we spoke this week, you are on the threshold of developing your professional identities with the 3 R's: reflection, relationships, and resilience. So as a partner and a mentor in your journey, beginning today with the white coat, I share a few thoughts. Value your relationships, both personal and professional. Sustain yourself with human interactions. Maintain your wellness. Remember the humanity in each patient encounter. Be in the moment, connect, look into the eyes of your patients. I wish for you to always feel joy in your profession and connected to all of your patients. And remember, there are so many levels on which we can connect with all of our patients, and that we are more than physicians. We're daughters, sons, husbands, parents, siblings, partners, friends, artists, baseball fans. And we should use those pieces of ourselves to connect with our patients, to go beyond the white coat and connect as individuals, and not allow this to be a barrier, and sometimes to even remove the white coat to honor the sacred trust of the profession. Good luck to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Terragino. I would now like to introduce Michelle Reardon, co-president of the Robert Wood Johnson Medical Association of Families and Friends. Ms. Reardon. There she is. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Michelle Reardon, co-chair of the Association of Families and Friends, and along with my partner, Donna Ellen Donato, we welcome the class of 2019 and offer our most heartfelt congratulations. At the barbecue on Sunday, I had the pleasure of meeting many of you, and there you had an opportunity to observe firsthand how our family of volunteers, students, and dean work together for the benefit of one another and mainly for the students. Our association started over 20 years ago with the primary mission to enhance the quality of life for all our medical students by using 100% of the money raised from our fundraisers and donation to benefit these students. The money that we raise is used in a variety of ways, including financial support for our student interest group and organization, providing funds for short and interest-free emergency loans to students, assisting in defraying the cost of students involved with international studies during the summer, and attending medical and research conferences, hosting events such as Family Day and our barbecue, and purchasing amenities for the student lounge, as well as maintaining the piano, ping pong, and pool tables. Donna, Ellen, and I invite you to join the AFF. We are a welcoming group of individuals, and we need your help to continue with this wonderful organization. There are 4 meetings a year, all held at the medical school in Piscataway. You can find more information about our meetings on the RWJMS AFF website. During our meetings, you will have the opportunity to meet Dr. Sonia Garcia-Lombach, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, who guides and directs our efforts, attends all our meetings, and keeps us informed of what is going on in our students' life, and for that, we thank her. Also, a special thank you to Dr. Meehan and Dr. Terragino, who support our organization and our students as well by being involved with our events. Once again, please come out and join us on September 21st for our first meeting. Feel free to contact Donna, Ellen, or me if you have any questions. And once again, congratulations and best wishes to all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all you do for our students. I would now like to introduce Lauren Adams and Colleen Stalter, both second-year medical students and the student coordinators of the Whitecoat Ceremony.
Welcome, everyone. We'd like to welcome friends, family, and the class of 2019. And before we start, we'd like to extend a special thank you to all of the people who made today's ceremony possible. Chancellor Strom, Dr. Jimenez, Deans Gabriel, Terragino, Meehan, and Lombach, Drs. Corbett, Sachs, and Kelly, Dr. Copeland, Patty Hansen, and the team at Communications and Public Affairs, Mrs. Donna Ellen Donato and Mrs. Michelle Reardon, as well as the entire Association of Family and Friends, Ms. Cynthia Ferrer-Cespedes, the administrative staff at Student Affairs, Drs. Fisher, Shevitz, and Tobia, the orientation team, the peer mentor coordinators, and the peer mentors. Thank you for all of the hard work that you've done to get us here. This summer, the incoming class read a number of books to prepare them for their transition to medical school. Who knew? Summer reading for 17th grade. One of the books on the list was by Dr. Atul Gawande, and although all of you weren't required to read his novel called Better, I'd recommend that you all read at least one of his novels over the course of these 4 years. One of my favorite passages of all time is from Being Mortal by Dr. Gawande. It is the following. In the end, people don't view their life as merely the average of all of its moments, which, after all, is mostly nothing much, plus some sleep. For human beings, life is meaningful because it is a story. A story has a sense of a whole, and its arc is determined by the significant moments, the ones where something happens. Measurements of people's minute-by-minute levels of pleasure and pain miss this fundamental aspect of human existence. A seemingly happy life may be empty. A seemingly difficult life may be devoted to a great cause. We have purposes larger than ourselves. There are a number of messages that I hope the class of 2019 takes away from this passage. First, I would ask that you all reflect on the story of your life. Though you are all young, each of you has a significant and unique story that has led you to where you are today. Some of you were born in other countries and states and have physically traveled many miles to get you to this point in your life. Others of you have had careers and other passions that you pursued before taking the path that led you to medical school. Still others may have what they consider a typical story of how they arrived at this point in their lives, but I can assure you that your story is just as meaningful as the rest. And all of your stories today serves as part of the arc of significant moments, or those where something happens. I would venture to say that Dr. Gawande would consider receiving a white coat as something happening. And although right now your story may have a sense of being whole, I mean, you're going to become a doctor, what more could you want? This is only a fraction of what your story will ultimately be. Today marks a significant turning point in your story because from this day forward, you will have a new element of your identity. When you take the Hippocratic Oath today, your story takes a turn. You are no longer a person who hopes to become a physician. You are someone who is going to become a physician. This will impact all aspects of your life story from this point forward. As you begin to fall into the routine of medical school, I encourage you to keep in mind Gawandi's reminder that not all lives are how they appear. Over the next 4 years, you may look at your friends who chose different careers and think that you made a mistake. You'll see them post on Facebook and they'll look so happy and well-rested, and they even get to go on vacation sometimes. And in those moments, remember that a seemingly happy life may be empty. You chose medicine because it fulfills you, and although you may not always be happy during medical school, your life will never be lacking meaning. This leads to Gawandi's counterstatement, which is that a seemingly difficult life may be devoted to a great cause. Your friends and family might not always understand the sacrifices that you have to make to become a physician. In fact, you might not always understand the sacrifices either. But your life, although difficult, will most definitely be devoted to a great cause. My favorite line of this passage is the final sentence. "We have purposes larger than ourselves," says Gawandi. I truly believe that this is something that all the students here today already know. It's why you chose medicine. When you reflect on your life, the overarching theme will be one of service to others. It will be a difficult and challenging road, and it will affect all aspects of your life. But your decision to become a physician will unquestionably give your life a purpose larger than yourself. Thank you.
And now I have the pleasure of introducing today's keynote speaker, Dr. Manuel Jimenez. Dr. Jimenez is an assistant professor of pediatrics and family medicine and community health at Rutgers Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, the director of developmental behavioral pediatrics education at the Boggs Center on Developmental Disabilities, and an attending developmental and behavioral pediatrician at Children's Specialized Hospital. Dr. Jimenez received his medical degree from our very own Rutgers Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, where he co-founded the Promise Clinic, a student-run continuity clinic that was developed in partnership with Elijah's Promise Soup Kitchen. Promise Clinic is currently celebrating its 10-year anniversary and is one of the most recognizable student-run programs at the medical school. Every year, over 150 medical students dedicate their time to serving vulnerable and transient populations in New Brunswick. After medical school, he completed his pediatric residency at Children's National Medical Center in Washington, D.C. Immediately after residency, Dr. Jimenez served as a Joseph P. Kennedy Jr. Foundation Public Policy Fellow in the office of U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen, where he worked on health and disability issues during the health reform debate. He then completed a combined fellowship through Robert Wood Johnson Foundation Clinical Scholars Program at the University of Pennsylvania and the Developmental and Behavioral Pediatrics Program at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, earning a master's degree in health policy research. Dr. Jimenez's interests focus on making the healthcare system more responsive to the needs of vulnerable populations. His research has focused on understanding the relationship between early adversity and child development, improving access to developmental services and therapies for young children, and promoting shared decision-making in pediatrics. On a broader policy level, Dr. Jimenez has partnered with the New Jersey Department of Children and Families on their efforts to improve developmental screening in pediatric primary care offices, as well as improve access to and coordination of early childhood services for children at risk for developmental delays. We're all very excited to have him here with us today, so please welcome me in joining Dr. Manuel Jimenez.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you today as you begin your journeys towards becoming physicians. 14 years ago, I was sitting where you are. Even though it's not a long time ago, we live in a very different world. Besides the shocking fact that I only purchased my first cell phone halfway through my first year in the combined bachelor's and medical degree program, which today would be unheard of. Healthcare has also changed significantly. You're beginning your careers in the Post-Affordable Care Act era, an era of medical homes and accountable care organizations, health system mergers like the ones that have taken place in our home state, and an era where patients will rate you online and have access to just about as much information as you do. It's also an era where we shifted from a paternalistic model of medicine, where doctors tell patients what to do, toward more of a shared decision-making model, where we embrace patients as our partners to incorporate their values in preference-sensitive situations. There's also remarkable challenges that we're facing, such as an unsustainable cost trajectory, technology that's outpacing our knowledge and ethical norms, and pervasive disparities in which, based on your race, ethnicity, income, or disability, you may not receive the level of care that you deserve. I didn't even mention finding the right balance between your education, patient safety, and work hours. I have to admit, I think a lot of these changes were overdue. But when I was sitting where you are, I didn't know that those changes were coming. Your situation is incredibly different. You saw these tumultuous times and decided to take these challenges head on. You're going to medical school, eyes wide open, knowing that your generation will have the responsibility and opportunity to define our healthcare system. Over the next few years, just like healthcare will change, you will too. You'll have the privilege of being part of the most vulnerable and private times in strangers' lives. In many cases, they'll trust you. As a medical student, I was present for the first moments of life, the last moments of life, and everything in between. If your medical school experience is like mine, you'll laugh with patients and cry with them. You may be the first to identify their diagnosis, and a patient in their 80s may even throw you out of their room for asking too many questions. You'll identify mentors who embody who and what you aspire to be, and you'll also meet other clinicians whose behaviors you don't want to replicate. You'll encounter kindness from your patients, their families, your teachers, and you'll encounter behavior that's just plain rude. It's inevitable that a collective whole, these experiences will change you. These experiences changed me. There's been a lot written about the erosion of empathy in medical school, where a hidden curriculum of medical training beats the compassion out of you and models all the wrong behaviors. I wish I could say that all your experiences in the next 4 years and beyond will be good, but they won't. In fact, many will be painful. But my hope is that you won't allow those experiences to erode your empathy. Rather, let them have the reverse effect. Allow those experiences to feed your desire to grow. Allow yourself to embrace the perspective of others, and in turn become kinder and wiser. One of my most formative experiences as a medical student was contributing to the start of the Promise Clinic, Robert Wood Johnson Medical School's student-run continuity clinic, which was developed in partnership with Elijah's Promise Soup Kitchen, a local community organization. I learned a ton from my classmates and my mentors like Dr. Steve Levin, and I learned just as much from the Elijah's Promise community. More than anything, this experience taught me how to listen. Listen to others' priorities, their values, and their goals. As we started the Promise Clinic, we had the great fortune to earn the trust of Elijah's Promise and their patrons. And together, we were able to develop much more than intervention. We developed a partnership that could identify issues and craft long-lasting solutions. I try to apply the same concept every time I have the opportunity to meet a patient. I spend the majority of my time, probably too much time, talking about what will change in healthcare and your lives. But I'll close with what won't change. Every time you encounter a patient, you have the privilege of entering their lives. In many cases, patients and their families offer you their trust. By putting on your white coat and committing to a career in medicine, you're also committing to a life of service. In the words of Dr. William Mayo, who Dean Gabriel so eloquently quoted in her first message as dean, the best interest of the patient is the only interest to be considered. When we start any encounter with the patient's needs, we're starting in the right place. And my hope is that when you're encountering those tough and painful moments, that you keep that principle close. Because when you start with your patient's interest, listen, and allow yourself to connect with them, you have the opportunity to join them on their path to their goals. In many cases, facilitate them. And if you take that opportunity, every patient encounter has the potential to make a positive and long-lasting change. Thank you.
Thank you, Manny, and thank you to all of our speakers for their inspiring words. One more round of applause. I would now like to introduce Dr. Daniel Mahan, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, and Dr. Dalia Shevitz, Chapter Advisor, who will recognize the students selected for induction into the Gold Humanism Honor Society this year.
Good afternoon. It is our distinct honor and pleasure to be able to introduce you to the students from the class of 2016 who have been selected for induction into the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Robert Wood Johnson Medical School has long been a pioneer among medical schools in humanism programs. After Columbia held the first ever Whitecoat Ceremony in 1993, Robert Wood Johnson Medical School was one of only a couple medical schools to follow with their own Whitecoat Ceremony the very next year. A few years after that, a group of deans, medical educators, and experts in assessment were convened to explore the viability of an honor society to promote humanistic values and behaviors and to transform the culture of medicine. They were responding to the desire of medical educators and residency program directors to have a mechanism for identifying applicants for internship and residency who have both outstanding clinical and interpersonal skills. The result of their exploration was the birth of the Gold Humanism Honor Society, born right here at our medical school. Currently, over 120 medical schools have a chapter of the Gold Humanism Honor Society. These students are truly special. They were nominated by peers who repeatedly identified them on a survey instrument that asked questions like, which classmate would you want as an MD for yourself or a loved one? Which classmate would you most like to have work by your side as a team member? They were nominated by faculty who singled them out among peers for their humanistic approach to all interactions. Ultimately, they were chosen by a selection committee that considered all nominations and was charged with welcoming no more than 1/6 of the class to join the GHHS. So as I said, they're truly special. Our recently selected students will be formally inducted into the GHHS later this year, but we invite them to join us today to emphasize the value we place on humanistic care and professionalism throughout the curriculum, and to serve as role models for our incoming class. So I'm going to ask that each student come to the stage when their name is called so we can recognize them and honor their selection. First, a number of the students were unable to join us because they're on away rotations this fourth years or have personal commitments, and I'm going to read their names first just to recognize them. They are Thomas Golden, Jacobo Santalaya, Catherine Doyle, Kritika Parasar, Melissa Villers, Adam Kahn, Steve Monona, Justin Dubin, Brett Roussel, Saurabh Sinha, and Danielle Giambron. So a round of applause for those who couldn't be here. And now for the students who were able to join us. Michael Nalepa. Karan Shabra. Elliot Sultanic. Eleni Stavru. Caitlin Mayer. Amanda Meisnix. Louis Chai. Joanne Matthew. Tatiana Landano Gentile. Janice Cho. Tomiyuki Hongo. And Kristen Bonello. Congratulations to all of our inductees.
Thank you, Dan and Dahlia, and congratulations again to all our students. I would now like to ask Dr. Terragino to introduce the class of 2019.
Got to get ready for all 200 of them, right? Okay. Ashley Abbott. Whoops, before. I goofed. Sorry, Dean Gabriel. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our coders. Dr. Daniel Meehan, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs. Dr. Sonia Garcia-Lombach, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs. Dr. Norma Sachs, Assistant Dean for Educational Programs and Director of the Cognitive Skills Program. Dr. Michael Kelly, Associate Dean for Graduate Medical Education. And Dr. Siobhan Corbett, Chair of the Curriculum Committee. I think we're ready now. Ashley Abbott. Omowomi Adedeji. Raymond Aponsa. Alessandra Angelino. Moshe Opfel. Julia Opoznansky. Eliana Applebaum. Fernando Arias. Ife Aradegbi. Salvatore Aspromonte. Geetika Bagal. Brittany Batiste. Christopher Bargood. Sabrina Barrick. Shalom Barashansky. Jacqueline Barron. Madeline Bassist. Jamie Benson. Zaim Billah. Christopher Byers. Lilaboti Bishash. Matthew John Bittner. Sairamya Bodampudi. Afwa Boluvi. Carly Berinsky. Andrew Brennan. Nicole Briley. Michael Brisky. Ashley Brown. Kenya Cabrera. Ross Cadman. Elizabeth Kai. Raymond Kai. Monica Castle. Jessica Castro. Kathleen Chase. Augustus Chang. Joan Chen. Gloria Chen. Sabrina Plassant. Destin Crystal. Nicholas Kukalo. Olawatoyan Dada. Ariana D'Angelo. Yuti Duve. Kwesi Dawson Amoa. Alex DeSilvio. Hayana Desamore. Rose Adele DeSaugust. Mitchell DeVita. Natasha Diwali. Catherine Duazo. Barbara Dutra. Mary Catherine Earnhardt. Yusuf El-Fanajeli. Samuel Elias. Melissa Encarnacion. Renee Eng. Douglas Farrell. Kevin Fitzpatrick. Ana Lucia Fuentes. Abhinav Gabetta. Shifa Gandhi. Tori Danielle Gartmand. Joshua Gillens. Joshua Gilman. David Goldrich. Ivan Golub. Ankita Gore. Christina Hahn. Jane Hand. Hamza Huck. William Hausner. Melissa Hamsher. Jake Hoyne. Joseph Ibrahim. Caesar Imperio. Ryan Charles Jackson. Marissa Yaroshinsky. Bahar Javdin. Mingyung Gang. Leah Kaplan. Preston Kiefer. Sahil Khanna. Kavisha Kanuja. Joanna Kinney. Michaela Kitzlevich, Travis Kling, Kevin Combe, Emily Komarchik, Allison Karansky, Dwani Kotari, Devin Kulkarni, Sunjay Kumar, Thomas Kuriakos, Steve Kwan, Caroline Kwan, Bridget Lang, Richard Lang, Amatala Lanlokun, Zachary Lands, Janet Lee, Jennifer Lee, Benjamin Levin, Benjamin Lichtbron, Michelle Linky, Gerardo Lopez, Jonathan Lowenthal, David Lohr, Rosalind Ma, Camden McDowell, Tarika Mahal, Brian Manukian, Daniel Marino, Brittany Martinez. Monica Masanam, Vaughn McAnuff, Jr., Dhaval Mehta, Surbi Menon, Alyssa Mitchell, Catherine Millen. Zena Modell. Sean Mounier. Allison Morosky. Shiri Naraki. Kyle Nelson. Taylor Newman. Jennifer O'Donnell. Chukwuwinke Okafor. Benedict Osorio. Oshima Oza. Benjamin Pagano. Patrick Polito. Tomas Paneke. Catherine Parkhurst. Matthew Parr. Christopher Paranki. Janki Patel. Ronak Patel. Joshvin Patel. Tulsi Patel. Ruhi Patel. Pooja Patel. Kewal Patel. Divya Patel. Harsh Pathak. Ethan Perlstein. Veda Pijavar. Pooja Pendri. Lakshmi Deepthi Penta. Chloe Phillips. Martin Pico. Amanda Piedra. Victor Pomery. Sonia Pothraj. Shireen Postchi. Patrick Politi. Kristen Raffel. Victor Brazouk. Kevin Ree. Brandon Roberson. Emma Rogers. Jamie Sack. Vinay Sagar. Disha Sarma. Catherine Schertz. Greta Schneider. Colin Scott. Gianna Sealand. Alexa Simanchi. Caroline Shang. Priel Shapiro. Marina Sharobim. Zachary Schuler. Sean Syburn. Rebecca Simon. Ajan Sivaramamurthy. Cassandra Soto. Anita Sridhar. Monica Sridhar. Radhika Sivastava. Amy Suhatliv. Avanti Suresh. Ariel Tabachnik. Nicole Tavernier. Rebecca Temkin. Karen Torres Soto. Ankita Tripathi. Annie Truss. Russell Valley. Aisha Von Pratt, Mary Vanderveen, Jalissa Veras, Elise Folino, Chi Wang, Alexandra Watson, Helen Yang, Pang Yang, Brett Urusi, Jung Yum, Jane Zhu.
The more hooting, the better. Thank you, Dr. Terragino, and all of our coders. I would now like to ask the students and all the physicians present to refer to the program Rise and recite the Oath of Hippocrates along with me. I do solemnly swear by that which I hold most sacred, that I will be loyal to the profession of medicine and just and generous to its members, that I will lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honor, that unto whatsoever house I shall enter, it shall be for the good of the sick to the utmost of my power, holding myself far aloof from wrong, from corruption, from the tempting of others to vice, that I will exercise my art solely for the cure of my patients and to give no drug, perform no operation for a criminal purpose, even if solicited, far less suggested. That whatsoever I shall see or hear of the lives of my patients, which is not fitting to be spoken, I will keep inviolably secret. Now if I keep this oath and break it not, may I enjoy honor in my life and art for all time. This is for the class of 2019. So thank you, everyone, for attending today's ceremony. We look forward to seeing you at many memorable and inspiring events during the next 4 years. And I ask that everyone wait to exit until the students have finished exiting, and then please do join us for a reception in the back of the courtyard. Thank you again, everybody, for being here.